Hello there, people of the internet. It's toasty out here today here in Florida, but hey, I'm still gonna make this video. You hear that bird? That's my bird Kevin. He's my peacock. I got 4 of them. They're all named Kevin. Perks to you if you get that reference. So I hear all the time from people that steel case Berdan prime ammunition is corrosive. They refuse to believe otherwise, no matter what I have to say to them. So I figured I'd go ahead and I'd make this video talking about how just because ammunition is steel case and just because it's Berdan prime does not mean it is corrosive. As a matter of fact, a lot of steel case Berdan prime ammo literally says non-corrosive on the box, but people don't believe it. So I figured I'd go ahead and I'd make this video explaining what actually makes ammunition corrosive, and I will show off what happens when you use corrosive ammo versus non-corrosive ammo. All the ammo we're firing today is steel case Berdan prime ammunition. Some of it's corrosive, some of it's non-corrosive. So, like I said, I'll show you the difference between the two. Now, I have some of the most popular steel case ammunition out here that we're gonna go ahead and run through some rifles, just, you know, to remove all doubt. I have them right here. Like some people will say, well, that might not have been corrosive, but this right here definitely is. I have the big names right here. Let's take a look at it. All right, now, some of these might be the same company selling the same exact kind of ammunition. Different brands sold here in the United States, so we're covering the different brands that are sold here in the United States just to cover as many basins as physically possible. Tulammo, I hear all the time this stuff is corrosive. It is not corrosive. It literally says non-corrosive on the box. Just because this is steel case Berdan prime ammunition does not make it corrosive. What that means is that the actual casing is made of steel instead of brass. And instead of a boxer primer with a hole in the center with the anvil built into the primer itself, it's a Berdan primer which has 2 smaller holes that are not in the center, and instead the anvil is built directly into the casing itself. That is what a Berdan primer is. What makes a primer corrosive, or ammunition corrosive in general, is whenever the priming compound has salt in it. Salt on metal causes rust, and whenever a priming compound has salt in it, you got to clean out the salt, otherwise it will cause your gun to rust. This has no salt in it, so it's non-corrosive. I've got one kind of wolf ammo here. This is 303. Again, Berdan primed, non-corrosive. I have another kind of wolf ammo here, just in case people say that that wolf ammo is different from this wolf ammo because it's a different color. This stuff right here is copper washed. This stuff right here is lacquered, but they're both steel case ammunition. This is 30-06 full metal jackets. Again, Berdan primed, non-corrosive. Then I have some Red Army Standard here. Again, Berdan primed, non-corrosive. Now we're gonna move on to the ammo that I have that is actually corrosive that I will use to show off what happens whenever you fire corrosive ammunition and do not clean your rifle. I have some Fed Arms 8mm Mauser. This stuff, Berdan primed, steel case, but corrosive because it has salt inside of the primer. Once fired, if I do not clean my rifle, the salt will cause rust inside of the barrel. That is what makes primers corrosive. I'm not going to let that rust get too terribly bad simply because I don't want to mess up my rifle. So once it starts rusting, I'll show that off. It shouldn't take long at all, especially with the humid environment we have here in Florida. There's enough water in the air to fill a river. Like, good God. All right, let's go ahead and handle this one thing at a time. First thing we're going to do is we're going to fire the actual corrosive Federal Arms ammunition, and we're going to fire that out of my sporterized Car 98. A lot of people on this channel have already seen this gun. Very nice gun. I can honestly say that I love it quite a bit. And the fact that I'm going to let the barrel rust is really saying something to how I feel, how passionate I am about this topic, and how often people say, you know, just because something's steel case and Berdan primed, that means it's corrosive. That does not mean it's corrosive. All right, each of these I'm gonna fire 4 rounds. I don't know why I came up with the number 4, but I know there's a reason. I think one of these I've only got 4 rounds for. So to keep the test fair, 4 rounds. This is the corrosive stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and just lob these into the car versus the steel silhouette because this is steel core ammunition. Well, I guess we can have one shot on our steel. Why the hell not? It's facing a different direction, so I should be fine. Yep, I'm fine. Okay. Alright, now that was our actual corrosive ammunition. Now we're going to fire the non-corrosives. And I'll show you in a couple of days. Maybe I'll let them sit around for a week or two. There'll be no rust in the barrel. Alright, first things first, we'll fire some Red Army Standard. I'm pretty sure that this is lead core ammo. Not positive about that, but bimetal jacket lead core ammo. This particular stuff is 148 grain. The Red Army Standard will go ahead and fire out of my M44 here. So this right here should show us what we need to see. Okay, let's lob some lead. I don't have the muzzle brake on this thing, so man, the concussive blast is nuts. I like the way the steel silhouette bounces though, that's always entertaining. I can't imagine firing this thing without hearing protection, especially like, you know, if you're fighting in the corridors in Germany, trying to root out anyone that's, you know, in close quarters combat area. So that's our Red Army Standard through the M44. Now let's check out whatever the hell this is. This is 303 British. Where's my 303? I have it in here. This stuff is 174 grain full metal jackets. This right here, also steel case, non-corrosive. This looks just like Russian spam can stuff because it's copper washed. That does not mean it's corrosive like Russian spam can stuff. I'll be firing this out of my number 4 rifle here, which I need to oil because we're getting some slight elements of surface rust on it, but it's far from bad. Either way, one of my favorite rifles, so this is one I definitely go out of my way to take care of. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and lob 4 of these rounds downrange. Oh, I forgot what a delight this thing is to shoot. Wow. I could definitely understand how people can run these as fast as they run them. Alright, steel case non-corrosive ammo through this one as well. Alright, up next, since I have it in my pocket, we'll fire that Wolf 30-06. This stuff right here. Berdan Prime non-corrosive. This is 145 grain full metal jackets. This stuff will be firing out of my sporterized 1917. I gotta say, this 1917 is actually a really nice rifle. Issue is, whoever cut the holes in the rifle for the scope, they were probably a little on the drunk side. And they don't line up like at all, like to the point to where I can see it with my eye. So I actually just threw a rear sight on this thing, and that's kind of just where we're at with this one. Let's see where the point of impact is with this thing. Hey, right where it needs to be. That one was a little high. Also a little high. Alright, so this sights on this do fire a little high. There we go. Alright, so yeah, fires about 4 or 5 inches high. So there we go, there's our steel case 30-06. That stuff is also non-corrosive. Alright, last but not least, the dreaded Tulammo. This is the stuff that people call corrosive on every forum all the time. Steel case, Berdan primed, non-corrosive ammo. This stuff will go ahead and fire out of my 9130. The reason I chose a 9130 and an M44 is just so we can keep them knowingly separate and remove all doubt versus me using like 2 9130s. Okie dokie, let's lob some Tulammo. I can't tell where that one hit. Nope. non-corrosive ammunition, steel case stuff isn't exactly the smoothest. She will get the job done. Whew. Okay. I'm gonna have to make more than one trip out here. Is my stock on a little canted? Yeah, my stock's a little sideways, so I'll have to readjust that. Anyway, we'll go ahead and look at this again in the next couple of days. There's a caterpillar on my car 98. We'll look at this in the next couple of days and I'll show off how the car 98 has rust in the barrel and the others, you know, do not. Today is, let me get you all a date. 12:45, March 27th, 2021. Hopefully that showed up. Bring that up again. There we go. I hope that showed up on camera, but if it didn't, oh well. Okay, well I have to lug these in one at a time, so I'm gonna go do that. Or I have to make multiple trips anyway. Alright, so here we are 2 days later. It is the 29th, ass end of the afternoon, 7:24 at night. I decided to go ahead and show off the rifles now simply because I don't want the rust in the Car 98 to get any worse. Anyone who frequents this channel knows how much I hate rust. I hate rust desperately, and inside the barrel of my rifle is no exception. So I go over these one at a time. I actually went ahead and took video with my phone to show them off simply because the GoPro right there doesn't have a screen on it, so I can't really tell if you guys are able to see it, so I'll just splice in my phone video. First off, I decided to check out the actual corrosive ammunition. This is what corrosive ammo does to your rifle. It causes the inside of the barrel to rust. If you fire corrosive ammunition, you will see this inside of your barrel. It typically takes a couple of days if you're in a humid environment like I am. That corrosion is caused from salt from the ammunition itself. It has nothing to do whether or not it's steel case, has nothing to do whether or not it's Berdan primed. This particular steel case Berdan primed ammunition had salt inside of the primer, and as a result, the salt on the metal caused rust, which is exactly what we saw. Up next, albeit it is not the best bore, I will admit that this rifle has seen a lot of wear and tear, and I have some surface rust showing up on like the sight and whatnot, but we're focused on the inside of the barrel itself. We have the 1917 Enfield fired Wolf 30-06 full metal jacket, non-corrosive ammunition. As you can see from the barrel, there is no rust inside of the barrel as you would see from corrosive ammunition. Up next we have the M44. I believe this fired the Red Army Standard non-corrosive ammunition. Steel case, Berdan prime, no rust in the barrel because there was no salt inside the primer, meaning it is non-corrosive ammunition. Then we jump up to the 9130, fired the Tulammo non-corrosive ammunition, I believe. Same deal, Berdan primed ammo, no rust whatsoever inside of the barrel, and a rather immaculate looking barrel, if I do say so myself, especially considering everything that rifle has seen. Oh god, if that rifle could talk, right? But no rust in the barrel from the non-corrosive ammunition. So Tulammo, Red Army Standard, pretty sure the same ammo, but neither of them are corrosive and neither of them put any rust in that firearm whatsoever. Next we jump up to the Wolf 303 copper wash ammunition from the number 4. Again, no rust whatsoever in that barrel from sitting the amount of time that it has. It's only been a couple of days, but whenever you fire corrosive ammunition, especially in a humid environment like this, that's all it takes, as you saw from the Car 98. Hopefully this put a little bit of knowledge into you guys' hands. If you come across somebody who insists that this ammunition is in fact corrosive, I insist that you show them this video. Just because something is steel case Berdan prime does not mean it is corrosive. It's all about the compound material that the ammunition is made out of. And yet still, I am positive we're going to have somebody somewhere come into the comments and talk about how the ammunition is in fact corrosive, despite the fact that I've just literally shown off how it is not. Perhaps they'll bring up the idea that it needs to sit longer. Well, if you leave uncovered steel, non-oiled steel, especially steel on a surface area that is rubbed frequently, if you let that sit for long enough, whether you have fired steel case ammo through it or not, it will start to rust, especially in a humid environment. That's what steel does. Non-oiled steel, anyway. I'm positive that somebody somewhere is going to push back on this. So, if your jimmies were rustled by this video because what I have shown goes different than what you have always known, and you are the type of person who is so caught up in their own prideful egos that you are incapable of learning anything new because it would involve admitting that you are wrong, then the gun community is perfect for you. That or the anti-gun leftist propaganda agenda, that would also be perfect for you. They both do basically the same exact thing. In the sense of refusing to accept new information that changes one's opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As you would expect, this video was shot during ammo shortage and was not exactly cheap to make, so if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do me a favor and actually like the video. YouTube's very anti-gun right now, so every like, every subscription, every share definitely helps. Now, I will say older ammunition, especially stuff that does not state it is non-corrosive on the box, might be corrosive. Just because Wolf, modern Wolf, says non-corrosive on it, doesn't mean that Wolf from 20 years ago isn't corrosive. We're talking modern spec ammunition here. Alright, check in the description down below. You're going to find a link to social media, Discords, gaming channel where I get drunk and play video games. That's always a fun time. Okay, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and upload this video because I've been sitting on it for like 2 days now. Very excited to get this out there because I get this question all the time. That being said, just thanks for watching, guys. Go off, have yourself a fantastic day. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.